for fast, cheap, and reliable Madden 23 coins. Make sure you guys go check out my sponsor, AOEAH.com. Use code VENM at checkout for 3% off your order. Yo, what's guys, VENM here back with another video, and today we're going to be hopping into another Madden 23 offensive scheme. Today we're going to be in the Singleback Deuce close. It was requested throughout a lot of the early videos that I do make a running formation, running scheme, and that's exactly what we're going to do in today's video. In this Singleback Deuce close, I think it is the best run scheme in the game. And for good reason. It goes along with a lot of the theme of this year of, tight formations being good. And it also creates some audibling threat. I'll go over some of that stuff later. But yeah, so Deuce close, I think it's really good. You have just a lot of really good passing plays. Some obvious very good run plays. This formation has been good for years. Madden 18, I think, was the first year it was super good. But yeah, man, just a really difficult formation. Madden 17, Madden 18, and it's been good every year since. You have your stretch, which you can't see on the left. That's going to be your main running play. That's going to pick up a lot of yards. You have some nice passing plays at the PA stretch shot. Of course, your wham. And then you have things like bench, which you can't see as well. PA misdirection, tight end angle. I love all those plays. PA stretch shot in the middle there, which I already said. But yeah, a lot of good plays. Now, the reason that I like this, and also we're in the Washington football team offensive playbook. The reason I like it is because you can come out in tight. It has one of the best tights. So what you'll see a lot of people do is they'll sub in a tight end in one of these spots. So let's replace Alec Pierce with a tight end, and then you can actually come out in tight and then audible to Deuce close. So I'll show some of that, but for video's sake, to save some time, we'll just come out and Deuce close and show some of the plays. I'll start out with the wham just so that it gives us another audible. Now, the audibles that I have on the field are going to be misdirection, stretch, bench, and PA stretch shot. Again, I like the wham. I like the tight end angle play as well. So really 6 plays that I'm a super big fan of. And starting out with this halfback wham, it is good. Now, the wham takes a little bit longer than you would like, and that was some terrible stick work. But even with our awful stick work, we pick up a decent amount of yards. But yeah, the wham, it is a little bit slower than I like. So sometimes people can even see this and get a run commit off, but it is a pretty good run if you can get that seal block. Now, Chris Jones is a monster in the middle of the field, so it might be a little bit difficult. But yeah, overall good. Another thing I like about this formation is that it's going to be symmetrical. So, being symmetrical, it's going to allow you to flip the play without your opponent knowing that you flip it. Whereas in bunch, it's an obvious thing. Your receivers have to run, but you can easily flip this. That's super valuable for the stretch, but you see with the dive here, it also opens up different holes. So if a run doesn't work one way, you can easily flip it without him knowing. And again, against formations and nickel, he's going to have more people on this side, of course. So running to the left is usually better, and he's not going to know that. So you see, it's not, this wham isn't the big play potential in the world, but it is decent. And of course, the stretch is your money maker, but you don't want to just run stretch every play. Then he gets, comfortable with it, and then you can, mix it in with wham. Even if that D tackle makes some nice plays, if they have like a Warren Sapp, you're not losing yards really, so you still have a chance to win a tackle battle and fall forward. So some stuff like that. Now let's actually go into the stretch. We'll just go over, these straight run plays. There's a couple of other runs. The zone weak. Again, I actually don't hate those runs this year, so you could go into those. But let's go into the stretch. So with the stretch, again, I mentioned that you can flip it just by pressing that square and the right trigger, flips your play. You can also just push the right stick to either side to flip the run. For wham, you can't do that, so you do have to flip the play. But yeah, so of course we're going to run to this side. And what I like to do with this stretch is if you have numbers like that, you notice what it is, a little stop and go type thing. And what that does is it's just going to give especially if you think you're faster than whoever you're, in the open field against, how we have like 10 yards, we kind of stop, and then you can actually get the outside. So if you want to bounce outside, now, maybe you could have dove there, so probably not the best. But even if you run straight, you're picking up like 5+ yards potentially. And I mean, it's a really good run. This is where your big money plays are going to come. You can pick up yards and chunks running this stretch. And I am in the nickel 3-3 formation. This is actually what you will see. You won't see as much this year people committing to like a complete run defense if you're in Deuce close, because there is still passing ability, so people want to be in good pass defenses. And a lot of times run defense this year just kind of entails hoping for a shed. So people don't have, as distinct run setups. And here you see there's no stopping and go. We just get the outside angle. Now we do have the best running back in the league in Jonathan Taylor. Big Jonathan Taylor fan. Had him in fantasy last year, not so much this year, because I didn't get the 1 pick, but he's really good in this game. He is the best combination of power and speed. And you see right there, I don't know what that juke animation was, but it actually worked. But yeah, man, the stretch really good. Now, again, this is from the right hash. You can also mix things up. So just because you're on the right hash doesn't mean you have to run to the left. If his slot corner was on that left side, you can still run to the short side and have success the way that we're doing there. And a lot of times, I love the jukebox ability this year, actually, because it allows you to make those sneaky cuts inside. Easier than cutting it back without it. It's just a faster way to cut back. So we cut it back against the grain. We see the corner there, and we see the linebacker get free because of a terrible block by Paris Campbell. So we just juke inside, and that picks up an extra 10 to 15 yards. So yeah, I love these running plays. I think these might be some of the best runs in the game. And you can also cut it back inside the way we did there. Just simple, especially if he's in a baseline press where you really won't be able to take an outside angle. If he's baseline press, you have no shot, so you can juke it back inside. Now, the risk you have is a shed on the back end, especially with inside leverage, so that's what you want to avoid. But yeah, overall, pretty simple. Now, one thing I like to do with this formation is I like to avoid motion if at all possible. I'm not the biggest fan of motioning. A simple tell would be, why don't you just motion over this tight end? Well, there's a lot of reasons. If I see this defensively, I'm flipping my play, I'm pressing, and I'm shifting everybody to that side. Now, you will, of course, get better blocks. I was just messing around with the stick work. Blocks would have been better, but of course, your opponent should know that. If you really want to get sneaky, which you can maybe do, is hypothetically, if I still wanted to run to this left side, we can actually motion over a tight end to this side. It's not going to affect anything, but it might just throw him off a little bit, and it probably opens up a little cutback with your, fullback coming across the formation. So, really good runs there with stretch, with dive. Let me know if you want a gameplay out of this formation. I could definitely do that. Let's go into our first play, which is going to be the PA misdirection. Now, we are facing man coverage. I might switch off to zone coverage a little bit later just to give you guys different looks. We don't want to stay in man the whole time, but this play is very good. It has a lot of man coverage beaters. Also, something good out of this formation is there might be some concerns out of passing under center. You can block up to, 8 people. You can block your running back and these 2 tight ends. So, setup I like is just a little simple drag route, and then you have your corner routes. Now, this corner route's not as good about beating man coverage, I will say. I've rarely seen this particular one fry man coverage, so you can actually mix things up. And hypothetically, if I were to do that, I would probably just, slant Pittman because he's not going to get open on his other route. So if you want, you can also do some things like, out route A or maybe just zig X, just some basic man coverage beating stuff. Now, our boy Paris Campbell does get open. Now, since we're not sending out everybody, they have an extra safety over there out of our cover 0, so we'll just, in this scenario, we're just going to send out everybody. I think the player who's manned up, who was kind of playing that safety role, was Juan Thornton in this weird zone. So we'll just throw Woods on a little flat just to clear up some space. And there you see Paris Campbell. He's frying man coverage. Now, it's not the best corner, but Paris Campbell isn't the best wide receiver. And you see this post route is very good. You can also smart route it. I think that makes it a little bit short. It actually doesn't look like it changes anything. So never mind on that. But yeah, man, just so you can keep things basic. Now, I will usually try and block at least one person if at all possible. So, maybe I'm slanting X, out putting blind on a little out route, just, giving myself some options because the protection out of here, it's not as good, I would say, as gun. Now, it's still going to be decent, but not as good, I guess. But yeah, that's really it for the PA misdirection. I wish the corner out was better against man. Maybe it's better against press man-to-man coverage where you can kind of lob it, but we're not using 2 controllers today, so that would have to be for another day, another gameplay, something like that. Now let's go into bench. I like bench play, this bench play. Bench should work against man coverage, I believe. And here you see throwing this to this side, not the best. You want more space for these corner outs when you're throwing them against man coverage. Against zone coverage, that might be a little bit better, but against man coverage, your best bet is to throw with more space so you're actually able to hit the sideline. I'm not sure why Pittman dropped that. There's not really an excuse for that, but he just did. Because again, especially if you have a lower rated receiver, they need a lot of space to get separation, so you want to pass like this all the way to the outside, and even then you see some good coverage. So that maybe wasn't the best pass lead. I thought I pass led that further out. You saw he had the separation last play, but some plays you see right there, he just gets cooked. We get shedded. So, yeah, the corner outs should work, and again, it's probably better pressed There's no way to really make these guys press, I guess. And we get bumped. Matt Ryan is just not doing us any favors either. Holy Toledo, they made him trash in this game. These overthrows are ridiculous. Now, you also have some other routes that are going to be good. These out routes now. These tight ends are terrible, for the record. Mo Alley Cox is like a 75, and whoever this other bum, Woods, he's a 69 overall, as you guys might have saw earlier. So these guys not doing us any favors either. The route running was abysmal by Mo Alley Cox right there. Holy, that was some of the worst route running I've ever seen. But generally, these guys will beat man coverage. And also, you notice how the coverage is running a little bit weird. I'm just going to try max protecting for a play to see if we can open up that corner out and also not get shedded. Because we are just running a basic blitz, but it shouldn't really be looping. Here you see on the sideline, I didn't even pass that up, but for some reason it just ran so far up. But it's so weird that it worked so well that first play the way it should have, and then it's not working. Alright, let's try something else. I'm going to try a different formation, different play, because why is this not working? So you see when we get an outside pass lead, he's open. I am hopping on, I think, to this guy. So let's go to linebacker blitz 0. And let's just press these guys. So hopefully we get a more accurate kind of reading here of what press man-to-man coverage looks like. And you see he gets open again. Another terrible throw by Matt Ryan, but you saw the separation was actually there. Trying to show it again. I'm just going to spy a couple of these guys so we actually have time, because I will literally just want to show you that the route beats man coverage. That's all I want to do. And there you see it beating man coverage. So that's what I was talking about earlier with the other corner out. You can pass it up, loft it up. You saw the first one, he beat the sideline. So I'm sure you guys get the point there. Some other setups with bunch, I mean, I just like to really run it stock myself. But if he's running heavy coverage, you can just run it like this and actually keep your running back out on the route. You can also kind of loft it up for the ag if you'd like. Some people are big fans of doing that, and you can definitely do that with this kind of a play. If you want to mix things up, what you can do is maybe throw Paris Campbell on like a backside slant, and then maybe you block Y and put JT on a little out route here. I don't know what you would do, but you can mix things up that way. Quentin Nelson and whoever that other guy, I think it was their center, just did nothing there, so that was pretty cool. I don't know, maybe you just switch up the blocking a little bit and everything changes, but yeah, that's going to be it for bench. I don't want to stay on here for 20,000 minutes. Let's go to the PA stretch shot. I'm actually going to switch to a zone coverage look for this, because this play is not the best against man coverage at all. And again, remember, you're running the ball most of the time out of this formation. It's not meant to drop back 20 times. You want to pass like 10 to 15 times a game if you can. But for this play, it's just a nice zone beater. You have a couple of deep routes that can get open, like our boy Paris Campbell. Love his route against cover 2, especially on that short side of the field. I actually do prefer it against the short side of the field, I think. And yeah, what you can do is just throw Mo Alley Cox here on like a little in route. You have a nice crossing route with Woods that you can kind of hit. This is man coverage, and you'll see nobody open, as you would expect. So if he's running man coverage, don't go to that play at all. I just got to remember to audible here. But yeah, so the PA stretch shot, again, our main target is Campbell. It does take a little bit for it to develop, so I would block 6 minimum. And then with these other guys, just a couple of, I'm not sure what you do. You could go out route with Mo Alley Cox over here. And then, I don't know, maybe Woods, you throw him on like a deeper in route. Again, I like these in routes just to kind of sit in the middle of the field. But you see, he's wide open again. The cloud flats really do, get off me, they really do jump out at those out routes this year. So I like to use those to pull down zones, especially. If you were to flip it, what you can do is, and again, you can maybe even streak Y just to get someone down the field, drag A, some basic stuff like this, even smart out B. This is going to be a man coverage look. So we're just going to chuck it up. That depot's, again, doesn't really get much of separation. I just need to remember to audible before I do my whole setup without doing that. So let's flip it, streak, drag, block this guy. You can run the play action if you'd like. You're more than welcome to. And apparently just no one picked up just a basic 4-man blitz. Gotta love the blocking in this game. And that's the risk you have of, playing under center. It's just nobody picked up the slot corner and just the most basic, worst blitz setup ever. You can't baseline press out of this formation. Okay, that's fantastic. I guess kind of man coverage. I don't know. I guess I just can't baseline press. That's super weird. See if we can block this stupid blitz now. And of course, if you use the drag, the check down's going to be open. I just threw the ball before I got sacked. But yeah, man, overall it is a pretty decent, you have some decent passes. Let's show the tight end angle real quick. But now again, tight end angle is just another play I like to kind of quick snap. You know, really with this formation, you're not looking to throw the ball 30 yards. Out of any under center formation, you'll get sacked very quickly, and you'll figure that out if you're running this formation. So, you know, it's a good idea to try and just throw these short passes. Every once in a while, you can hit your boy, like a Michael Pittman, runs a beautiful corner out over there. Same thing would happen with bench against cover 2, just so you guys know. But yeah, you want to hit those underneath routes, little seam streaks, drags. And then, of course, if you can set up those deeper corner outs over the top. That's probably as deep of a route as I would throw. The PH stretch shot one is even pushing it with this under center protection. But again, if you run the ball a lot, you should be able to open up those passes a lot. So you're going to get him so worried about the run that he's going to stack the box, and that's where you can open things up. Again, with this stupid Tampa 2 with 20,000 yellow zones in the field stock, tight end angle's not going to be open. But if he's playing some kind of a coverage where this is his user, he's running around, let's say he defends the drag, so we're just going to man him up on the drag, although he's just going to sit because this game sucks, then you can hit like this backside angle route, and that's good. So overall, it's a good new video. If you guys did enjoy, drop a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel down below, and peace. I'm out of here.